Oh, it's been recording this whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the book club podcast a book club podcast of Animorphs series of books. I'm Be Natural.
I'm better.
I'm Mustard. What are you doing while recording this time? Work. Well, it's better than playing Catan.
I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know about that. I think.
Wait, you're making all those typing noises. That's bad.
Bold new idea. Maybe we
pay
can
attention to the podcast.
Yeah, maybe pay attention to the podcast.
I actually have nothing to say. Still, we can't have all those typing noises though. That's too loud. I don't know what you're talking about. We've been getting a lot of comments like, "Please stop with all the typing noises. My ears hurt. They're way too loud."
Yeah.
My ears have been bleeding.
I just want to listen to this nice, soft little podcast where everybody talks in a very small tone of voice, and there's no yelling, and
no one's ever too loud in this podcast.
The mic quality is super, super good, and it's like ASMR. It's beautiful, but then there's all this typing.
Oh no, the Optimist won.
Stop typing! No!
I'm looking at our reviews for this book, and there's 2 thumbs up.
Sure,
when I cast my vote, there's 1 thumbs down and 1 thumbs up. And I did a meh, so it was like perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Well, I had to unbalance it because what are we going to do? I don't have a secret 4th vote.
What?
You're doing mad again, idiot. I guess that's balanced. It's not one of each, though. That's not what balanced means. Yeah, it does.
That's pretty balanced. Yeah.
There's one of each that's balanced.
It's not about balance, it's about giving your honest opinion.
Yeah.
What the frick is this bullshit?
I gave it a thumbs up.
This is nonsense.
Now, after I read this book, I was like, that wasn't very good.
No.
It wasn't.
I had fun, and I was
going back and forth between down and meh.
I was so close to giving it a mad. I was like, man, I can get this book a mad.
It wasn't really excruciating. There was just nothing that really...
I feel like that's bad, though. I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you any credit if you contributed nothing to my life.
That's why it's a meh.
I thought it wasn't boring, though, wasn't it?
You contributed nothing to my life, then I'm not giving you a meh.
There was some kind of interesting ideas.
Only in the beginning, and then they just completely freaking fell on its face.
What do you mean only in the beginning? What?
I don't know. In the beginning, it was like, okay, I wonder where this is going, and then it was just
the beginning was the worst part. The beginning was the worst part. That's why we like this book.
Written.
I don't even know what this is.
Very poorly written the entire way through, especially at the end.
Let's summarize this book.
No, they're gonna cut them up and eat them. That's scary.
But it's very poorly written.
Yeah, but it's scary.
No, it's not, because it's stupid.
It was pretty, okay.
They're not even gonna eat them. That wasn't even what it was.
There's stuff there.
There's stuff from the animatronic suit.
Yeah, let's, okay.
That would have been better.
Listen, I'm gonna...
Five Nights at Freddy's has a better plot and story than this book.
They kind of were like animatronics. They were like, let's
talk about how this is like animatronics. Five Nights at Freddy's.
No, let's summarize the book. Okay, so I'm going to summarize it. I don't have a good summary of it. Okay, so basically...
You were working on the summary for 7 hours today.
No, I was reading the book and sleeping 7 hours today.
Okay.
So Visit 3 is salty because in a previous book, he wanted to get this super complicated Pemalite spaceship, which is underwater, and the Animorphs stopped him. And he's like, oh, that sucks. So he's trying to do it again. And one of his plans to do that is he's been...
This is the second... I like how I just inhaled and you stopped talking, and I was going to let you finish, but then I was like, he stopped talking, I might as well. This is the second time that Visit 3 has just continued the same plot from a previous book in...
What's wrong with that? I mean, it happens in real life.
It's not wrong. It's pretty cool, actually, because I feel like in most series like this, they just forget about whatever happened in the previous. The villain has a scheme, the hero thwarts it, and then there's nothing really wrong with the scheme except for one thing that the hero is able to thwart, and the villain just gives up on it completely and never tries anything like it again.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
Mystery does not do that.
It's kind of cool, actually, that they reuse stuff. They reuse plots in these books,
Except we're not talking about how cool this book is. We're talking about what happens in the book.
Hold on. Can I finish
This is not the summary.
Let me just finish my... Okay, we're already too deep, though. Let me just finish my point. It's kind of interesting that the Animorphs of all series averts that trope.
Why are you talking about this right now?
Jesus Christ, let me finish my one sentence.
You said a whole paragraph.
No, I didn't. I said one sentence. Half a sentence. Okay, you ready? That's one word, not a sentence. Given that the different authors are writing these books. Thank you, there.
Here's my 5 words or less summary. He says 4 sentences.
I said one, he freaking interrupted me in the middle of a sentence. I didn't finish.
What's that German club called?
You had no reason to be talking in the first place.
I wasn't going to talk. I started inhaling like I was gonna talk. I remember. Here's the
Okay,
sequence.
but just because Mustard stopped talking doesn't mean you can just start injecting.
Talk.
We need to know what happened in the book.
I stopped talking because I didn't want to be interrupted.
I inhaled to talk. Mustard. I was like, oh wait, never mind. I'm not gonna talk. We'll let Mustard finish. Mustard, stop talking.
You had one sane thought for a second that was maybe I shouldn't talk about my opinions about the plot during the summary.
Podcast where none of us ever yell was nice and relaxed.
One time, Jeremy was like, "Okay, here's like my
mad at each other about the
5-word
summary.
opinion on this," and he literally said 3 sentences.
Half of this episode has been 2 people talking at once. Let's go back to this.
2 people talking about Jeremy.
Let's go back. Okay, so anyway, back to the summary. So Visitor 3, he's been like doing medical experiments on Yeerk, and that involves he's been really bad at it. He's just been like stitching gills on them, and like he's trying to make them aquatic.
He's just making whatever.
And it's not. Yeah, it's not going out well. And
He's
so
not even clever.
and he was like, "Shut up." And
he's just making the Harry Potter guys from Goblet of Fire, where they eat the thing that turns them into fish people, but they look stupid.
Why didn't he just give the Hork-Bajir gillyweed?
Yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, continue. There are summary thoughts.
So he's like, okay, we gotta kill all these Hork-Bajir. They're useless now because I just put gills on them and they don't work and they're just suffocating in the air. So then he fed them all to taxons, but one of them escaped and like found the Animorphs, and then it died because it couldn't breathe. And then the Animorphs were like, "This is the evilest thing Visitor has ever done. We need to avenge this guy." He also made a new ship called the Seablade, which is way better at going underwater.
It's a ship?
What did you think the Seablade was?
I don't know, like a sword, like a magic sword.
What?
I mean,
he was doing work while
I was trying to like fall
You have all these crazy ideas of what actually happened in the book, and yet you have nothing to say about them.
I was trying to like falling asleep during like the first like 4 chapters. They're really boring. You can't blame me for that.
After that.
Anyway, so the Animorphs, they follow the ship. They turn into freaking killer whales, and they follow the ship, which, by the way, it's disguised as a whale. That's the thing the ship can do. And they're like, we gotta destroy this ship.
Okay, see, that makes sense why they couldn't find it. I thought they couldn't find it because it was a little sword that no one cared about.
And then Jake almost dies, so he has to demorph. And then Cassie's like, Jake, suck on my blowhole. I'll give you air.
What?
This is not summary worthy. Mustard's just a freaking freak who thinks that's all he thought about for the rest of the book and up until this moment.
And then Jake almost dies a second time, and then he goes in Rachel's
in like
mouth.
4 months, when we're recording the next book, we're gonna be like, oh, so the last book I remember in the most gonna be like the last book is that the one where Jake sucked on Cassie's blowhole. So that's all he's gonna remember about this book.
So they all ram into the ship, and then the ship starts sinking because they ram it, and then it falls in a big cave, and they see some weird fish people. And then they follow the ship into the cave, and then there's like a big giant, it's like miles big, this underground cave. Big. It's really big. And they see like ships they see like hundreds of like Earth, like ships from like all, like hundreds of years, different various ships, and a bunch of like humans who are like on the ship, like taxidermized, like frozen in place on these ships, like the old crew. So a bunch of ships like fell in here, and that happened to them. And they find like a city made of like ship parts, and there's more of the fish people. They're called something, I don't remember. Nartek. And they also see the blade ship, and they're like, oh great, the blade ship's captured, that's swords.
Good. They're called Blendtech.
So they're like, okay, well, time to leave. And they find a place, because they're like, oh well, these guys will take care of Visit 3 for us, so let's go. And then they find somewhere to demorph, because they've already been there for like 2 hours. And then they get captured by some of the fish people, except Tobias. And they get taken to the fish queen, like Queen Sako or something.
It's Queen Sokka.
Zora.
From Avatar.
Is it actually like Soko? I was going to say Soko, but Sako's just funnier.
It's Soko.
And then the fish queen is like, well, since you come in peace, I'll like give you food, and like we'll show you around the palace. Also, don't try to escape, and yeah, we kill everyone who comes down here.
And then we'll stuff you into very bad.
We'll stuff you into the suit. And she's like, oh, where's your ship? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, okay, well, I'll find out eventually. Anyway, have fun. So they kind of just wander around with like guards following them, the fish people. And They look around. They try to find Tobias. So the plan is to find Tobias, destroy the ship.
Yeah, by the way, Tobias has gone missing. If that wasn't in your summary, it makes
You already
sense
said
because they
that.
kind of didn't... Oh, it
You did
wasn't.
say
Yeah, I
Tobias.
said that. I said Tobias.
Never mind,
Everyone's captured
Mustard.
except
I'm
Tobias.
so sorry, Mustard. Can you please cut that out of the summary? Out of the
No,
edit,
the
so that I don't look like an
unedited.
idiot. No,
A
now I'm
50-minute long
stupid.
summary. No, it's okay. You know how many times I've done that during the summaries where like someone's summarizing and I'm like, oh wait, you didn't miss this part, right? And then everyone's like, yes, Mustard, they said that already.
Yeah.
We can talk about the breeding later. Also these fish people used to be humans, by the way. That's relevant. They like got mutated into fish people from living underground. So anyway, so the Animorphs now they're like, well, we gotta go steal the blade ship. That's our plan now. But Visit 3 might still be morphed.
You mean the Sea Blade?
Yeah, the Sea Blade. Visit 3 might be morphed hiding somewhere, so we can't like out ourselves as humans or whatever. And then what happened? They get taken to the scooping room, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna cut you open and like scoop your guts out." And they get like drugged, and then Tobias shows up. He's morphed as one of the fish people and saves the day. And then they fly away, and they go to the Sea Blade, which there's all these taxidermized Hork-Bajir on it,
Yeah, I know.
And like, oh, this is spooky. Because they got to them already anyway. So they get on the ship and they start getting attacked by the fish people. And they have trouble taking off. And then Visit 3 comes out of nowhere as like a big fire-breathing monster. And he kills like all the fish people who are attacking the Animorphs. And then he's like, yo, Animorphs. Well, he doesn't say that. Yo, we gotta work together to get out of here. Because I have the ship. I know how to use the ship. And all my crew is dead. So yeah, let's go. And then they go away. And then while they're escaping... They open up the hatch and water flows in it because they want to destroy the ship. That's their main goal. So they destroy the ship while they're leaving, and then everyone swims away, and then the day
And they
ends.
screw over Visitor 3. The Animorphs cannot keep a deal with Visitor 3. They're always the ones to go back on their deal every single time.
Yep.
So that's that book.
Okay.
I liked it. It was fun.
The Atlantis book starts out with an interesting premise. Visitor 3 wants to go after the Pemolite ship, so he builds
What are you reading
underwater
right now?
blade
What is
ship
this?
and glues some gills to his Hork-Bajir. Not the most effective
Cinnamon
plan,
Bunza.
but okay. Except they never get to the Pemolite ship. They are kidnapped by mutated fish people who live in an underwater city ruled by a queen. These Atlanteans, for lack of a better term, have a habit of kidnapping sailors, extracting their DNA to make more Atlantean babies, and putting the dissected corpses in a museum. Though it is evident from the start that this is what the bad guys are also planning to do to the Animorphs, they go along with everything and even allow themselves to be captured for absolutely no reason. Nothing in this book makes
I wouldn't
sense.
say they allowed themselves... Well, okay.
They totally do!
Jake literally has a moment where he was like, "Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. Oops, wait."
None
There's
of
a
this book
completely
made no sense to
reasonable
me.
way to get out.
Well,
of
they
the
didn't allow
situation.
themselves to be captured.
They did, they
Jake-
Yes, they
literally
did.
did.
Well, no, they
Max literally could have cut them out of the net, and then Jake was like,
literally
"Oh no, don't do that."
Well, no, when you say that,
There
sounds-
might be controllers.
No, when you say that, it sounds like Jake intentionally got captured. What happened is they got
He did.
captured, and then Jake was like, they could be controllers, so we can't morph out of our human morphs right now.
Because that was stupid. There was no... That made no sense at all.
I mean, because, yeah, they were, like, in the dark, and, like, the chance that, like, one of the 5 guys who captured them, like...
These guys we've never heard of.
They
who, like,
already
captured the Yeerks, and, like, we've heard that they already, like, heard the Yeerks being tortured.
Also, like, the animals already, like, demorphed in that area, so, like...
None of this
If
makes
they didn't
sense.
see that,
then yeah.
then, like,
right.
you know...
Cinnamon Bunza ranked this as the third worst Animorphs.
That is insane to
Good.
me. That is...
No,
what?
that makes sense. Second worst was book 14, Horse Book. First worst is a book we haven't read yet.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll disagree with that one, because...
Well, what's the worst book so far for you?
The Snow
50,
one.
the snow one, by
The
far, the
snow
polar
one.
bear, by
Yeah.
far, like, easily, no
This
contest.
book was not painful to read, unlike some other books. It just was stupid.
I was, like,
It didn't
annoyed
really have
at
a
some
whole
of the
lot.
decision
I
making,
think
but in the
Polar
end,
Bear
I was
It
like,
had
that's
some
fun.
interesting ideas.
Polar Bear was, like, leagues
In the
below
end.
all the other ones. The second was 15.
Yeah, the Polar Bear book
For
didn't even make
15.
their list of the worst.
That's insane. I
It wasn't
disagree
their,
with these
it wasn't
people
on the best, but it was
strongly.
like I think they said it was like if there was a number 11, that's what it would be. It would be Polar Bear.
Okay, they just don't like fun then. They like boring. They
This
think
book was
boring
not fun.
They think books are worse if they're interesting and bad, as opposed
That's
to just be
true.
boring.
That
and
that
bad.
is kind of true.
Which
They-
is kind of a valid opinion to have, I think.
that is kind
No,
of
it's
true.
not.
They do have that like 2012 like attitude. You know,
Okay,
like,
right, where it's like, oh, this thing is bad in like a cool and weird and funny way. It's the
but it's
worst
still
thing
bad.
ever.
It's important that I show you that I am
Yeah.
above it.
Right.
But yeah,
Exactly.
no, like I mean, this book wasn't horribly boring or anything. It just was stupid. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't. The silly parts of it were definitely not silly enough to keep my
No,
attention.
it was not nearly silly like in the way that the horse book or
Who wrote
the
this
alligator book were.
And the characters were kind of like out of, they were off model How do you say that? When
Out of
it's
character.
Yeah, they're just acting out of character for a
Yeah,
while.
Cassie was like obsessing over.
Cassie was obsessed with revenge for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
It was so weird that they were so mad that Visit 3 was doing these experiments on his book.
That's pretty stupid, but like at the end of the day, like whatever, you know.
But like, and they were like, "Oh, we need to avenge these poor Hookbajir who had experiments done on
What
them."
about other ones you killed?
And also,
idiots?
like, what about like the entire invasion? Like, he's done worse things than this. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you so hooked up on this? That was really weird. Like, I think Tobias even pointed out, like, someone was like, guys, everything Visit 3 does is bad. We can't, like, focus so much on this and just let anger guide us or whatever.
All right,
their whole mistake in this book was letting their anger guide them.
The person who wrote this book did not write any other Animorphs books.
Aw. It was a good one.
No.
Like I said, I don't think it was good, but I enjoyed it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it.
I just
there
feel
was
like
a lot that seemed like I wouldn't have enjoyed it.
this author they just did not get the Animorphs right. They just did not get like anything about this universe right. They did not. I didn't feel like I was reading an Animorphs book at all when I was reading this. It was just like a freaking random book. This felt like the ghostwriter like just wrote this book about these like OCs and this world they made up about these freaking fish monsters. It was like, yeah, man, and they kept like shopping it around to like publishers, but nobody would pick it up because it sucked. And then finally they were like, oh, Animorphs is looking for ghostwriters and they'll pretty much just do like any plot. Okay, sure.
I don't agree with that.
That's what it felt like.
That seems like exaggerating.
I will say, like...
it really feels like this book cared most about their weird Atlantis thing, and it was...
Which was the best part of the book.
At a detriment to, like, what Animorphs is about.
You guys are dumb. Okay, hot take. I know you...
But it really just sounds like Capelgate was bored and didn't really know what to do with her characters next.
You're gonna... I assume you guys are gonna disagree with this. I think this species is, like, the most interesting new alien species they've shown in, like, a long time.
I don't think so. I feel like there are way more interesting ways they could have written this species than what they did.
What's so interesting about
have they done that before?
They live underwater, and they used to be humans, but now they're not. What else is there? What else?
Nothing, but what else does freaking Pumpkin Man have?
Pumpkin?
Pumpkin Man?
Yeah, Pumpkin Man.
I didn't like the mini guys. I like these way more than those mini guys.
Sir, what were you doing when you were reading the other Animorphs books?
Easily, yes. And I know that's like your favorite guys. I'm like, no, this queen. I love this queen. This queen's way better than the Helmicron.
How?
Better be
How
like
is she better than the Helmicron? She's like them, but worse.
No, she's them, but better.
Better be like women are my favorite guy. Women being Helmicrons.
Yeah, and not women being weird fish woman.
Yeah.
What? This is just a personal preference. I prefer weird fish women. No, she had a cool personality. I like.
She had a cool personality. She was ruthless. Yeah.
No, she was. She treated them kindly, but with the knowledge she was going to kill them. It was very interesting.
I guess, but I was like, okay, that's one thing. Got anything else? No.
Yes,
it was the entire book.
It was literally one scene in the book that I thought she was in one scene, and I was like, that was really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. And then that was like the only time it came up.
Reading that scene.
If that scene was not in the book, it would definitely not be a thumbs up for me. But that scene saved it.
Wow.
Also, this book relied way too much on Jake almost dies, and then one of the Animorphs saves him. That happens like 5 times in the book. That's like the entire book.
Because Jake's a freaking idiot in this book.
Like
Jake is so stupid for this entire book.
If I were, there was at some point where like the Animorphs like were like looking at. I feel like I'll have it written down somewhere. But it's like if I were one of the Animorphs in this book, I would freaking just like mutiny against Jake at that point. Like after point, I don't care. Jake was just being a huge idiot in this book for no reason.
I didn't think
this author did not get like the Animorphs. Like, okay,
what did he do that was so dumb?
Like, oh yeah, I get these guys. Yeah, okay. So we're out in the middle of nowhere in a farm field, and like 5 guys like get you with a net, and they're like, no, we can't morph and get ourselves out. You can't even use your tail to break the net.
Can't use his tail blade to break the net so that the Animorphs can start running away.
I don't know why that is, but why
does that have to like fly away if they wanted to get away? That people have like weapons.
Wait, weren't they humans?
Well, later on it's revealed that they can't even run that fast.
Okay, so they're already humans standing around with an andalite. What do they think if those guys are controllers? Like, what do they think? Just kill them.
Oh, I guess that's a good point.
What do they think
Axe
they're
is
gonna
there,
think?
I guess that would kind of.
If Axe is there with the humans, like what?
Exactly.
I think they're already screwed.
How is that hiding that they're andalites?
Why
are they morph as humans?
So
except for
Jake
one.
is like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just get caught in this net and let them take us wherever they want. oops, we're in the middle of a giant freaking bustling city with 1 million people and Visor 3 right here for a known fact, the Yeerks are here. Oops, we can't morph now. Like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Well, actually, the place they got captured was like miles away.
Man, I just thought they would take us to the freaking, like, abandoned, like, room where nobody else was there and just leave us there for several hours.
I don't think he assumed that would happen. I think he was nervous. He was like, we can't do this right now. It's a bad idea because it's risky. And then he just didn't realize that he didn't think about the implications of it being risky later, you know. That seemed normal.
Yeah.
It was very annoying.
But yeah, it was frustrating to read.
It's frustrating to read. Okay, so like in chapter 1, Jake says, we're not supposed to like morphing, but mostly I do.
Okay, that seemed weird to me.
Yeah, like there was like this author doesn't
Who says you're not supposed to enjoy it?
Yeah, and who says that Jake is the one that enjoys morphing the most? Like, since when is that ever been established? Like, that's just random, and like the author does not know the Animorphs. And there's another, and then in the next page he says, we are not winning this war, we're delaying the final defeat, no more than that. Maybe not as much as that. And it's like, since when is Jake, so pessimistic?
Jake's been such a doomer?
Like, why don't you just shut up then? Why don't you just leave? What are you doing? You're not doing anything. Like, yeah, there's no way we're winning. I thought this series was about hope. Like, I get that sometimes they can be pessimists and it's like, or realists or whatever, but it's like, what? This is just the second page of the entire book, dude. Like, what is this? This is so weird.
Yeah.
This is not in character.
Jake was in a bad mood that week.
Yeah, I just exposition. I'm in a bad mood though, just so you know. I guess.
I don't have much to say about this book, actually.
The only thing I have to say about, I guess, my next note is that chapter 2, like the fact that Visor 3 couldn't, like the Visor 3 is like wants to go underwater to find Pemalite thing, and so to do that he like makes Hork-Bajir aquatic. But what, like, I guess. The fact that he couldn't, like, just get some Lyran controllers up in there, or, like, do another shark plot thing, or something.
Well, the shark thing failed, the Lyran thing failed.
Don't they have Lyran controllers?
I think...
Did the Animorphs just free every single one of them?
No, they only freed, like, 3 of them.
Couldn't they get more?
I know, that's what I'm saying, like... Why didn't they just use some Lyrans, or, like, use sharks
I don't think
something?
they have Lyrans. I feel like something happened at the Lyran planet or something.
Are there multiple Lyrans?
No!
Yes, it's a species!
I thought there were like 5 left.
No, on the Lyran planet...
There's plenty of Lyrans.
Yeah, there's lots of Lyran controllers. I don't know. I was just
they
gonna
were
say...
killed by Bubble the Clown, I thought.
That suggests that, like, these side missions of, like, let's get the Pemalite ship or whatever is just, like, Visor 3 just makes it up. He doesn't really, like... He doesn't, like, go to the Yeerk High Command or whatever and, like, you know, ask them for resources on this, I guess. Like, he just has to freaking pull it together himself.
He just plays with his little toys. That's all he wants to do.
I learned from this book that Tom Clancy is a book author and not just a video game. Not just a video game.
He's like a...
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Siege 6.
And they mentioned that Marco, like, is reading too much Tom Clancy books or something. And I was like, what? I thought Tom Clancy was just a name that they put in front of some video games.
I assumed it was like a guy who was like in actual wars.
I assumed he was the guy who made the video game.
I assumed it was just a weird name that they put in front of video games.
It's a weird name. You know, you just feel like putting names in front of
I have no idea. I just thought those were weird big games. Weird names.
It's like when they put like Papa's in front of a pizza place. Like, there doesn't have to be an actual Papa.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
This is just, Tom Clancy's.
It's just a name that sounds nice in front of a war video game for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, like if they had like...
Speaking of Visor 3 trying to do this again, so then Jake's whole thing is like, oh, we gotta destroy the ship, and he's like, oh, and then we have to sink it and then make them regret ever thinking about invading the ocean. So it's like, do you think he's not going to try a third time? What do you like? He seemed like very certain that it's like this is an end all be all. We have to do this right now and sink it, and he'll never do it again.
Jake is so determined to just keep going and going and going in this book, and I never understood why.
Me neither.
Just go home, take a nap.
That's what I kept thinking. Just go the frick home. It's so annoying.
Yeah, it was weird that like they saw the ship get captured, like by the cave. By the fish people when they're in the ocean, and then they saw all the ships that were like frozen with the mummified people in it, and then they're like, no, we have to make sure that Visor 3 the ship gets destroyed. He's like, guys, you saw them get captured. You see all the other ships here. They've done this 1,000 times. Of course they're gonna get mummified and the ship's gonna be taken. Like, what? You can leave now.
I mean, to be fair, the Yeerk technology is a lot more advanced than like whatever it was the Nartek got last.
Yeah, but they had like freight carriers or aircraft carriers. Like,
yeah. I mean, like, I wouldn't have necessarily
also, the animals were able to disable the ship by just ramming into it as well. That apparently worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
That's
really
pretty
know.
stupid,
I just wanted them to leave because I was like, this is
I just wanted the book to be done.
yeah, pretty much.
I enjoyed the book. Oh, there was a weird part about when the morph is orcas.
Stir, I just wanted the book to be done. Gives it a thumbs up.
Yes, sir. Why did you like this book? It was fine. Whatever.
I don't have any notes until chapter 9
This
now.
book taught me that the word insinuate doesn't just mean to like. It means to like get into something, like sneak in. I think.
Yeah.
Grace slugs that insinuate themselves into the brains of sentient creatures. Let me Google it real quick.
I've
Is that
never
like a
heard that
typo?
definition.
No.
Oh yeah, slide slowly and
it's not.
smoothly into a position.
Slug myself. Yes. Yep.
That is
Hey,
very
baby, I'm getting
interesting.
I thought it was typo.
Thank
but
you
it
for
wasn't.
teaching us a new word today, Erica Babone and Catherine
It
Applegate.
says
of course.
Alfangor is muscular. So you got confirmation.
We
of
keep
that.
getting freaking flip-flopping on what the Andalites are like. The first they have like
Stupid.
really...
I don't want them to be muscular.
Sometimes they have like really weak arms that like couldn't lift a little freaking stick or something, and sometimes they're like muscular. Like, make up your mind.
Sometimes I'm secretly proud when Aximile as Garoth is still the Andalite cadet who joined us not long after we encountered his older brother Elfangor, calls me Prince Jake. No, since when, Jake?
It's a secret, Bad, right? That's why you don't know
We
yet.
learned
It's
so
a
many
secret.
secrets about Jake today. Like, he thinks
Yeah,
that they're just
really.
going to lose the war 100%, no point in ever trying. You know, the fact that he thinks that there's no point in trying explains his behavior in this book. He's like, I'm just going to let my friends die in a relatively peaceful way. Like,
Oh,
He did say that he gets embarrassed by it too. Like he's mostly embarrassed, but he's also
Blushes.
kind of vowed sometimes.
I think later in the book there's like one random stroke where he's like, am I getting too comfortable being a leader? Just not
Yes,
brought up or
in this,
anything.
you know what's funny
Jake
is like,
has no inner conflict at all. It's just he fails a lot, and then he's like, "Well,
Well, no,
I kind
they
of
have-
already learned in another book that like I would fail a lot."
and in that other book, he
So-
made way better decisions than in this book. So I'd say,
Yeah.
Jake, you've kind of gone downhill.
like
You've kind
Jake,
of fell
you
off.
have really just thrown in the towel at this point.
The inner
Holy
conflict in this
crap.
one was annoying because he said the whole inner conflict was he was like, oh, is the only reason I'm continuing to pursue this mission is because I'm so mad at what Visit 3 did to that Hook Bajir that I want revenge. Like he claims that that's the reason. It's like, why are you so mad about that? Visit 3 is invading like thousands of people.
I mean, it
and
was
making their
certainly
lives
bad.
hell. Why
It
are you
was certainly
so...
bad, but it didn't. The book never conveyed that it really went above and beyond what he's
No.
already done, and like what how that specifically mattered to Jake and or Cassie. Like, I understand that it's super bad, and I could see a character existing who like that's their line, like that's their thing. I think is worse than anything else, but they didn't convey in the text at the time that it was happening that it was like the worst thing ever, worse than anything else he's ever done.
Like, we just read the Visser. Every single thing Visser
Yeah,
1
really.
did in that book was leagues worse than this.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Not that the
Yeah.
Animorphs know that, but I think they can assume that Visit 3's done stuff that's as bad.
Yeah, this would make sense if this was like the very first book or something.
Yes.
And then I would, and if
It's
it
the
was,
first book this person wrote.
And if it
as
was-
ghostwriter.
and if it was the very first book, I probably would have been like, "Geez,
I
Animorphs
was
is not as
thinking
good as I remember,"
I
and
was
then we
thinking
wouldn't
that
have this
because like
podcast.
my younger brother really likes orcas, so I was thinking like, what would he think if I showed him this book?
Like the book
Being
itself.
like, oh,
or
it's
just the
your
cover?
favorite animal. And then he reads this and then reads the whole thing about the Nartex and like the mummifying humans.
Better.
And,
What
like,
the? What is this series?
it just gets a complete wrong picture of what Animorphs even
Is
is.
this
What do you mean
series
wrong
about-
picture? This seems like Animorphs still.
No.
They made another...
It-
Is it just because they're not
It
aliens?
doesn't gonna do a good enough job to me of justifying why they
No, it's
even
'cause
decided to turn into orcas
the
in the first
writing
place. And then it's
sucks.
nothing, the plot has nothing to do with them turning into orcas.
What? That's not... The plot never has anything to do with the animal on the cover.
Sometimes it does.
Yeah, it often does. Like the Bat book.
Like the alligator book.
Yeah, they use...
The alligator.
The alligator
That's a
book
good
is the one example, I feel like. Yeah, the
The
bat
horse
book,
book.
they use bats to do what they have to do. This one, they use orcas to do what
The
they have
cat
to do.
book.
Like,
The hawk book.
Remember
I was
the-
actually
The
thinking
dolphin
about
book. I'm just going through all of them, dude.
the
None
cat
of that
book.
is plot related. They just use that thing to do that. Like the skunk book. Guess what? It's actually the freaking wolf on the cover.
Yeah, I'd say like half of them, the animal is relevant. Is the plot.
I
You
think
know?
the book we refer to as the skunk book is actually the wolf book.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, I wouldn't remember it as the wolf book.
No. What, books 4? Is that book 4? No, book 8?
No, I think
Book
it's book
8
No,
is
sorry, book
X.
9. It's book 9.
Book 8 is the human book.
I was doing math wrong.
The human book.
That's right.
Speaking of orcas, when Jake is morphing,
Book
it says
13 is also the human book.
his legs like twist around like licorice, a 25-foot long stick of licorice. Why would his legs be 25 foot long? Orcas are only like...
Because
They're very big.
orcas are really big.
They're only like 20 feet, I think. Like, is it with legs would be the...
How big are orcas?
They're
I Googled
big.
it. Orcas, like...
This room is like 20 feet. Orcas are bigger than this room.
Orcas are like 25 feet at most, so their legs wouldn't be 25 feet by themselves. I guess
Well,
morphing's
morphing
weird.
is
like,
weird,
like
okay.
gets
They're
long
alpha
and then-
morph.
like,
They're
squishes
alpha
up.
orcas from Pokemon Arceus.
Oh, also, he says, like...
You
He
would get
says
it.
the orca is, like, smart, and, like, he can sense that the orca... That
The orca
he's-
knows that his brain is in it. You're not possessing an orca, dude.
That's not how morphing works,
Not how
Erica
morphing
Babone.
works.
That's not how morphing works, and that's not how Jake is, and that's not how Cassie is. That's not how the Animorphs universe is, Erica Babone.
Well, can I read the passage? Because this is...
Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name.
This is lore now. There was something new here, new for me. The orca was aware of me, of something, someone directing its behavior. It knew at some incomplete, simplistic way that it was being controlled.
But it's not.
Okay, well, no. I remember, Be Natural, you brought up a point in a previous episode that kind of changed my mind about the whole thing, is when in the alligator book, when Rachel had the alligator allergy, she had to morph, and then she morphed the alligator, and then separated the alligator from her body,
Mm-hmm.
and created an alligator, which you said, like, oh, well, that kind of seems like they are creating creatures and then possessing them, which also makes
Yeah.
sense with how they have to take control of, like, their instincts and stuff.
That is true.
And that
I
kind
forget
of that
about
kind of
that.
changed my whole view about, like, them being so against, like, morphing humans, because I was like,
Yeah, it would be cool if they mentioned that, though, when they morphed humans. I guess orcas are smarter than humans in this universe, which makes sense given that how Capelgate's treated whales before.
I forgot about that.
Whales
yeah.
are just a
I
higher,
know, like,
a
he
higher
didn't
being.
they didn't think of any of this stuff while they were morphing a human. Like,
Morphing Andalites,
Morphing a
morphing
human-
Morphbajir,
I think
morphing
they don't
Weirins.
morph-
morphing a human is not treated with, like, any kind of, like, sense of innate wonder.
Yeah, really, they just morph humans and then they're like,
They're just like, oh, well.
so I look different.
How often do they morph humans? I feel like they don't.
They
like,
did it like at least 6 times, I would say. Axe morphs a human like every other book.
Oh,
doesn't
well,
seem
that's
to
the human
care.
he created with, like, their DNA. So I think. That
Okay,
seems
come
different.
on.
The intelligence of the orca watched me. I felt a shiver of fear. Ludicrous, because I was the orca. It could not hurt me, and yet I felt the fear of a prey animal who finds himself under the gaze of a killer whale. That is interesting.
I guess, but just like a lot.
It does not. It's not representative of anything else we've seen about morphing in this series.
Yeah, and just like with a lot of stuff in these kinds of books, like it just doesn't come up again. It's just like why
If
is
they really created an animal and possessed it, then what would make them different from the Yeerks at all?
Well, what if that's how the series
fact that
ends,
they
so,
just
like, with the Yeerks
Get
the
to be
whole time?
in something that has a smaller brain?
Well, they do generally refuse to morph humans for that reason. Like, oh, if Cassie's always like, oh, if we morph humans, then we're just as bad as the Yeerks. So it's like that. It seems to be what they believe anyway.
But look, the Yeerks physically
maybe
can't...
maybe Jake was just like inventing this idea so that to go along with his idea about morphing humans. I don't know why he didn't do that for humans though. It doesn't make sense, man.
I feel like I haven't.
The author just had this idea-
It
It
seems like a weird time and place to bring this up.
Yeah, exactly. The author
Well,
just had
they love doing stuff about whales. This author read book 4 and based his whole book
Cassie
on the
already
fact that
morphed a
whales
whale.
are
You'd
like
think she would have
God.
mentioned
Yeah, you'd
this.
think Cassie would have mentioned this when she first morphed the whale.
This is an orca. It's a different kind of
Killer
whale.
whales are the smartest beings in the entire freaking universe. They're smarter than Yeerks and Andalites and Hork-Bajir.
Well, we already knew whales were the smartest. That was in book 4. What did they say about whales? Did they say whales were the smartest creature, didn't they?
They
It's
said that
something
whales are like smart in a way different from humans.
They're like connected with the spirit of the ocean or something.
Yeah.
No, they don't say the ocean was alive. That was the thing they said in book 4.
They should morph the ocean then. Jeez.
See, I think this is more like ocean magic lore about the extending off of book 4.
Yeah, really, what's so great about ocean mammals?
They're very big. Yeah, I don't have any notes.
I don't have any notes until chapter 9.
My next note's like, I just laughed when Jake had to suck air out of Cassie's blowhole. That was
We know. Has Jake called Cassie his girlfriend before?
Yes.
That caught me off guard too, but I wasn't quite sure.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Like, chapter 9, Jake just, like, refers to Cassie as... He just
Okay,
says...
very casually, my friends and my girlfriend.
And I was like... He just says that, and, like, would people reading this book be like, wait, who is that? Which one is his girlfriend? Like, he doesn't even say Cassie is my girlfriend, like, earlier in this book. He just, like, drops the word
Yeah, and they
girlfriend.
don't really act like boyfriend
I mean,
and
he
girlfriend
doesn't
either.
say Cassie's the girlfriend. Maybe he was talking about Rachel, his cousin.
Oh my god.
He probably
Stop
talks about
it.
her.
Maybe... I feel like if I was
Doesn't he
reading
say,
this
like,
book
my
the
two
first
friends,
time,
my cousin and my girlfriend, and the alien we hang out with or something
He says,
like
my
that?
cousin, my girlfriend, my friends. All the same person.
Cassie's his cousin. If I was reading this book for the first time, I thought I might think like, oh, is there like another person we haven't met yet who's his girlfriend who's just here now?
They're definitely Cassie's definitely his girlfriend. I think that's been well established. They kiss and stuff.
They're
private about it, but they're clearly like dating.
They like each other. They blush at each other. I don't know if it's
They're
just
dating.
weird. It's just weird. Author, this is not Jake. Jake doesn't just call her his girlfriend. They're not really like they're too insecure for that at this point. I think they're not doing that dating talk. Okay, it's just weird. The author doesn't understand the book.
Aldrea called Jake Cassie's boyfriend in book 35.
Who's Andrea?
Aldrea.
Yeah,
because Cassie, I like
oh wow, a
boyfriend.
third character referring to characters who aren't comfortable saying they're dating as dating, and then the other characters being like, "Oh, that's not true."
He's just saying an innovation. Obviously, they're dating. He recognizes that she's his girlfriend. That's how I took it.
It just feels very off.
I feel like there's even been like an overarching narrative of them being more comfortable about it. Like they kiss in like book like 35 or whatever.
Yeah, that was more jarring.
And that was like, okay, yeah, they're officially like dating now. It's kind of the thing. Yeah.
I guess. It just seemed weird. It just seemed weird.
You're just hating on this because it's ghostwritten.
It didn't feel intentional. I love some of the ghostwritten books, like the one.
I know, but you're overly critical. Like,
Captain
would never say this. This is clearly a fault of it being ghostwritten. You're like blaming every fault of the like.
Yeah, when someone does something that like someone else wouldn't do, I'm allowed to be like, yeah, this is because they're not that person.
Do it. I think if Capelgate wrote that, it'd be like, I don't know. I never.
If Capelgate wrote that, I'd be like, this is weird. Why is she writing it so bad?
No.
It's good to know things so that you can identify why things are the way they are. So the Animorphs channel their selves from book 3, and they see a giant glowing green butthole, and they're like, "Oh, let's go in there and then demorph."
What are you talking about?
In the rock, that's where the sea blade goes in. The sea blade gets pwned into
sea blade goes in the big butthole.
This giant glowing green butthole, and
this is stupid. It was yellow too.
Okay, yellow butthole, and then they're like, okay, let's just go in.
What about his butthole like?
I guess I'll go read it. I don't have the book open. Oops.
I'll read a quote. He said, "The cave, those creatures, something about it all gave me the unholy creeps." And I was like,
butthole.
Unholy creeps.
The unholy feeling that it's like a butthole. I just pictured it as butthole shaped. I don't know what to tell you.
I did not.
I guess while we're looking for the butthole quote, speaking of buttholes, there's a part where they go in. And then Mako is like, "Oh, what's that smell? Is it fuel? Because the
poop from the
blade, sea blade is like leaking something after they rammed it." And then Axe is like, "It's unlikely to be powered by fuel because it's not human. It could be coolant or possibly waste from the onboard sanitary facilities." And Mako was like, "I vote for coolant," and I vote, "That's kind of funny." The one thing I laughed at out loud in this book was the blowhole thing. I was just like, "That's so silly."
The what thing?
The blowhole.
You mentioned that
Cassie
3 times
like,
now.
Suck on my blowhole, Jake.
Was that supposed to be funny? That doesn't seem funny.
No, it didn't.
Well, it's funny to me, and then he goes and goes, "It's just silly. It's a silly thing." I don't think it's meant to be funny because Jake's freaking dying. I think that's why it was funny to me. Jake almost dies, like, wait, there's like 4 different persons. Usually they have like one part of a book where Jake almost dies, or someone almost dies, and they get saved at the last minute. And
I'm really tired of these books.
I'm really tired.
This happened in chapter 4 of this book too, where like, it's the freaking beginning of the book. Jake is like flying after the sea blade, and then he like falls in the ocean or something and doesn't morph fast enough. He's like, well, that's it, I'm gonna die. And it's like, yeah, dude, you're totally gonna die in chapter 4 of this book you're narrating that's ghostwritten in the middle of the series and nobody cares about this book. Like, dude, just shut up. It's so tiring. They do this in like every book. They do some kind of like, I'm about to die from like this not a dramatic moment, not a battle. It's like the first 10 chapters of the book. I'm about to die because I freaking tripped over a banana peel and fell on this pavement. I'm gonna die now.
That's how Hitler died. He was a big important guy.
Didn't he shoot himself?
No, in Megamorphs 3.
Animorphs canon, yeah.
Oh, in Animorphs. I guess, yeah, you're right.
How did he actually die in the book?
They like accidentally like just threw a grenade at him or something?
Pretty much. Well, like, Tobias was a Hork-Bajir, and he, like, put his Hork-Bajir blade to Hitler's throat and was like, I'm gonna kill him, and then they all convinced him not to, and Tobias was like, well, okay, and then he slipped and then he
Universe Hitler,
and then he
was just a mailman.
He was just like a mailman, and then he tripped, and then he was like, okay, I guess I won't kill Hitler, and then he tripped and his blades fell on Hitler's neck.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Hitler dies to a Three Stooges routine.
That was the best part of that book.
Yeah.
There's a lot in that book. That book was a lot.
The book was a lot.
Dude, the book was that was the most lot. Visor was like a crazy good book, and it was a lot. I'm kind of glad to be at low stakes, not insane.
No, I was missing Visor while reading this.
Yeah.
Visor was too much.
Oh my god.
Visor was a lot.
Wow.
It was very dark. I'm glad to be at the more lighthearted Animorphs.
One thing that I thought was really annoying in this book was how all of the characters seem to know so much about different boats. And Marco explaining exactly how echolocation works, even though they've all been bats before.
Dude, yeah, Rachel was like, Marco, how do you know what echolocation is? Then I'm like, wait,
you're on the bat cover.
Yeah, you're on the cover as a bat. you know what she just she didn't understand the concept at all.
Maybe Rachel got amnesia off screen again, like she did in Megamorphs 1, and she was just too embarrassed to tell anybody.
Is that what happened in Megamorphs 1?
She got amnesia. Remember? Yeah.
Remember she went to
you probably don't remember because it was amnesia. Yeah.
And turned into a bear.
That was also in the show. One of the last episodes of the show we watched. She got amnesia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the only reason they don't turn into giant squid is because those guys were creepy.
Oh, is that why you're mad that they turned into killer whales instead?
I love killer whales, but I'm just saying, I would like there to be a good reason why they turn into killer whales.
Because they need a new thing for the cover. They already did squid last cover. They need a new
ram the
thing.
ship. Killer whales are
I will
heavy.
say, this is probably the best
I feel
cover.
like the tentacles of a giant squid would be able to do lots of
I think it's weird
shit.
that they assumed that they could do damage to the ship by just ramming into it as much as...
I thought that was weird too, yeah.
I mean, it is whales, but they're only 25 feet.
Wait a minute.
This is a big ship, and it's alien technology. I don't know. I mean, it worked. I'm just surprised that they felt like they could just ram into it with an armed ship that has guns that shoot them and almost kill them twice. And there's let's just ram it, and then that works.
I'd say this book has the best cover of any Animorphs book.
The best cover of any Animorphs?
Well, of the main series, of the morphing guy covers.
I guess we're talking about the cover halfway through.
It's pretty much just like the Cassie book.
He's in the water. There's a landmass behind him. It's neat. The water covers are the best.
I disagree.
I don't see how it's that different from book 4.
It's because you just like it because they're not wearing clothes and they're actually wearing the morph.
They are wearing. In his wetsuit, it's the similar pattern of the orca whale. It kind of transitions.
It's not what their morphing outfits look like, though.
It's closer to what their morphing outfits look like.
You know what their morphing outfits
street
look like?
clothes. Dude, I don't care.
They don't have a full-on wetsuit to wear. It's just like a...
Oh my
Some
god.
of them do, don't they?
It's better than their street clothes.
I don't see... What I'm saying is I don't really see how this book has a better cover than book 4.
I guess I wasn't thinking of
book 4 is more iconic.
Dude, the book 4 cover is really good. The reprint is horrible. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
What's the book 4
cover? Look at the reprint cover.
All of the reprints look terrible.
What's the book 4 cover?
Cassie jumping out as a dolphin.
No, the best cover is the freaking book 3.
I don't have anything else to say about this cover.
Is it 3 or 5?
What's the thing? You won't even get the chance to change your mind.
Looks pretty cool.
What does that mean? That has nothing to do with
Jake didn't get to change his mind about his decisions that he was making.
Yeah, I guess so. I just like how it implies that he's turning into a whale. He was like, "Yeah, I'll turn into a whale," and then by stage 3, he was like, "Oh no!" And then he didn't get to change his mind.
Oh well, I assume you're supposed to assume it's about the Yeerks because that's kind of what most of those little things are about. It's always like, "Oh, Yeerk you later" or whatever.
Yeerk you later.
Can someone make a fake Animorphs cover where the tagline is "Yeerk you later"?
Pick the one where the Cassie's morphing into a Yeerk.
Man, Yeerks were not relevant to this book at all.
I'll do it myself.
I guess, dude, I can see why this didn't feel like an Animorphs book because the Yeerks weren't even mentioned.
What book is that? Be Natural. Send me the picture of Cassie morphing into the Yeerk.
Yeerk you later could be the book. Although the episode title, but that doesn't really have anything to do with this book.
I sent here's the inside cover from this book.
Inside cover, it's a bunch of whales, it's cute.
It's fine.
Oh, there's a butthole that totally looks like a butthole, you're right.
That's just a hole in the cave. That's not the thing from the thing. I pictured it as the portal gun opening.
Didn't they just say there's just blue and green light?
I don't know, man. For some reason I just pictured it as looking like the portal.
The portal gun from Rick and Morty.
Because it was like a glowing green thing.
And you see that every time and think butthole?
No, I pictured it looking like a butthole shape and like a glowing green Rick Morty brick.
This is you being dumb. This has nothing to do with the book.
Well, this book didn't deserve my intelligence.
Oh my gosh. A lot of my notes are just reiterating, this is dumb. Why is Jake so obsessed with avenging this guy? Why is Jake's decision so bad? Why does Jake keep almost dying?
I love how in chapter 11, Marco, is just, at this point, just asking to leave, 6 times per page, and I'm just, reasonable, realistic, base of Marco. Marco's just, the voice of reason, and nobody listens to him at all.
I must be so tired.
Oh, they say that, when they're in the fish city, it looks like the island of lost children, and he's like, oh, it looks like that set of the movie.
I looked it up, too. I was like, what the frick is that?
And I was like, I guess this author just saw that movie and wanted to write
Seriously,
something that looks like that.
My theory is the author saw that movie and was like, oh, this is such a good movie. And they wrote this fan fiction about it. That's what this is. And they were like, I wonder if anyone will publish my fan fiction. Oh, I know. I'll stick the Animorphs in there and they'll talk about how awesome and epic my universe is to the point where they're almost escaping. But Jake is like, something is drawing me back to that place. Maybe I'm just so curious about how cool it is. And then they go back and they meet my epic OC Queen Soko. I looked it up. This is a French movie from 1995, with a weirdo, it's an art film with a budget of 18 million that made 11 million back. So it's who has heard of this? I really like how the quote is, Cassie says, it's like the set for that movie, The Island of Lost Children, or like Peter Pan. As if those two are similar levels of recognizable.
He was like, I don't want people to know that I'm ripping off this book. Saw this movie. If you Google the Island of Lost Children behind the scenes, there's some pictures from a WordPress page that shows I think what Kathy's talking about, and it's kind of a city made repurposed because the city's made out of ship parts, and I was like, yeah,
definitely the description of the city felt very video gamey.
It was a cool idea to have a city just made of a bunch of stuff, but it was a bunch of trash from sea stuff, and everyone's just using random weapons from all sorts of time periods. But that's pretty much it. This book just keeps having ideas, and then they kind of just don't do anything with it. They just,
I like the Queen's demeanor once the Queen started talking.
For all 2 pages of it, yeah.
The book peak. Yeah, exactly. I like that the Queen was just yeah, you guys can just walk around now, but we will kill you later. Just you can.
And they're
have fun looking
okay.
Around. And then they look at the library. They learn about the history of the fish people. Oh, and the reason she gives the history, and it's we used to be on Earth, and then
they're literally just Atlantis.
And then we built
the island just sank for no reason.
Was Atlantis an island that sank? I didn't know that.
Well, that's the idea.
So they built walls to keep it from sinking in the ocean. So but the walls kept bending toward each other until they had a big giant dome, and then it sank in the ocean.
Yeah, they kept building the walls higher and higher until they all met at the top.
And then Axe told Jake, okay, this story is bullcrap, clearly. It's been passed down through generations, and it's more myth than fact now.
But then it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. He just keeps saying stuff in these books, these bad books that don't matter.
Right, and it didn't affect the plot in any way.
Who cares if it affects the plot?
You guys and your everything
it
must
doesn't have to
impact
affect the plot, but it could be saying something about the story or the characters, but it doesn't. It's just
saying something about
you're just saying stuff, dude. You're just saying stuff.
Okay, what's wrong with that? People say stuff in real life.
Boring.
Yeah, every book, everything that someone has to say has to either be the most exciting thing ever or directly contribute to the plot, or else I should cut it out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not reading a book.
There was a lot of filler. Okay, this book had so much filler in it. Not that part, though. That part was cool, but the filler is... I don't like that filler. I don't have enough plot points here to have a whole book. I need 2 pages where Jake almost dies and then gets saved. Let's copy and paste that 5 times.
Yeah, that too.
I like this book. It was a great book. Marco is horny for fish people. Do you want to talk about that?
Wait. Oh, yeah.
That was the first thing. That was my first exposure to this book because you posted a screenshot of it in the group chat. Marco going not a bad body on that one.
Yeah, when you were posting that, I thought the plot of this book was going to be that they found weird people who are half morphed into fish, or maybe the Yeerks made them or something. And then the plot was them investigating that.
This was better.
That's kind of what they did. They found some.
It's worse than that.
Just because they're not aliens or not related to the Yeerks, that doesn't make them bad. That makes them cooler to me. Yeah.
The plot is that the Yeerks are doing stuff.
I don't care that they're not related to the Yeerks. They just didn't make them impactful to read about.
They're impactful because they're freaking... They're trying to take over... They're killing a bunch of people and they're trying to take over the world.
And they're
listen,
mutated...
The Animorphs... They try to introduce this ticking clock of the Animorphs have to stop the Nartek because they want to take over the world. They want to move up on land and attack people with the ships that they have. And then they're 2 pages later, they're oh, but they're so inbred and weak, they'll never take over humanity. We have way too many people.
They didn't say
even
they
though they have
over.
nukes.
They didn't say they wouldn't take over humanity. They just said that they'll they're
It just
dying.
seemed like the
So
author
these
kept...
Nartek, we don't have to worry about them at all because they're gonna all
That's not
die
what
off
that means.
soon.
Freaking Jigsaw Killer's dying too.
It just seemed like they kept introducing like random stakes so that the Animorphs had an excuse to stay there.
You know what? And the
instead of just
Jigsaw
leaving
Killer
anyone
dying
there.
is like a really big problem for that series. So
No, it makes it funny because everything after that is very contrived for no reason.
I haven't seen like any of those movies. I just watched like people talk about how stupid they are.
Jake gets mouthfuls of dank water.
You're stupid.
okay, wait. Does this book mention dancing in any way?
It mentions Dane.
Oh, Fick, it's a Jake book?
Yeah.
Jake does a dank dance.
Jake doesn't think
That
dance.
sucks. I'm not titling it that.
Jake, you'll see you later, which is a dance.
Jake which is a dance.
Is that like a like hyphens between you later?
Parentheses. And there's just a dance.
That's the title. I'm saving that.
Nice.
Oh, any chewies in Europe.
It has nothing to do with this book at all.
But I'm so confused. In case you haven't noticed, every Jake does some kind of dance for no reason. I don't think we figured out one for book 31. Oh well.
So Jake is like, no, we can't. So they're in the net,
We'll
and
figure one out later.
they're in the net, and Jake is like, oh sorry, Jake is like, we don't know we can't morph. We don't know where the visitor is. Don't know what Hork-Bajir might still be loose. We don't even know if these guys might be infested. And I'm like, you will morph in front of the freaking Burger King cashier. Like he's probably not a controller. It's probably just gonna think it's a dream.
That was when they were younger.
But then they're in the freaking Atlantis fish creatures that are like 17 billion miles away from everything, and they're like, oh no, Axe never heard of these guys. Freaking Chi have never told them about these guys. Nobody ever knows about these guys. They just captured Vision 3, and they're like, oh, what if they're controlled? Like,
You
are you stupid?
do not respect the secret underground Earth Society of Mole People conspiracy theories. That's why you hate this book. I liked it. I like the fact that for hundreds of years there's been fish people living underground and they keep killing people. And they just have a fun museum of like a bunch of ships, like hundreds of ships and like frozen people just for like fun. Just like to have like knowledge. And they the queen is like so knowledgeable too. Like
you know what my biggest problem with this part of this like half of the book is, the second half of the book? They're walking around the city, there's no freaking people. They were just in this empty city because the author couldn't be bothered to like fill it with like people and like culture and like things happening. It was just like we walked and there was like a building and there was another building.
That there's people
there's people there. They see a bunch of fish people.
Like when they mention that when they come in, they mention that like one other time when it's like suddenly when they're running. Like compare this to like book 26 when like
it does say that most of the fish people can't really walk for a long.
Well, then why are there buildings all above water? Why are there so much of their building above water if they don't even like walk these streets?
You think they would just like move into the actual water?
But and then like at random points.
Well, it's because they used to be human, so they don't like the idea of having to fully be fish people. Right? They want to be on land eventually. And then at random points they do mention like, oh yeah, and then we had to push through this crowd and there was like a baby holding onto their mom's arm and it's like, where were you before? Like I don't even remember that.
No, they just brought up out of nowhere like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a bunch of people here. It was like near the climax where they're trying to run towards the Seablade, and it was like. There's just nothing happening in this town at all, like, except the Animorphs walking around. It's like, compare this to book 26, where it's like, every scene was like, flavored with like, the Iskort were doing this or that, doing all these interesting things, like, in the background, because like, their lives were going on, but the Nartek are just like, NPCs who load into the scene when it's time to cause an obstruction or something. This setting feels dead and like, nothing. Like, setting feels like the author, like, didn't feel like putting effort into realizing what it actually feels like, so it just feels like a background for like a game where they forgot to put in all the characters.
I like that the queen knew like every language. That was cool.
That was stupid. She knew every language, and the Animorphs were like, no, we don't speak that language in English, and then she takes like 2 more minutes to realize that it's English.
Because she's snarky. She's messing with them.
And she can speak English perfectly fine, but why do they know the languages?
Because she's been capturing people for like 500 years.
And Ben hey, can you teach us?
Long, has she?
And Ben hey, can you guys who are captured like teach us like your entire language before we kill you? Thanks.
They've been getting knowledge from them, yeah. They have like records of all the books. They've been studying all the books that they have on the ships. They have a whole library of knowledge.
Well, they should speak. I don't know.
Very knowledge-based
author, maybe come up with something interesting about these guys. Maybe they.
The whole thing about them is interesting.
Maybe they speak English phonetically or something because they've just learned English from books mostly. Like I don't know. Like it's just.
No, they talk to people. They take people down and they ask them for information or they torture them. As was said, I believe.
And they're like, teach us your entire language. Yeah.
No, they learn. They have like 1,000 years to learn. They've been studying this.
Why does I don't care, man. It's so boring.
No.
I think if you're a scavenger whose culture is mostly comprised of gathering things, you're gonna learn languages.
No.
Just over thousands of years, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
People will learn languages just by like being around people for like 5 years.
How long are they? The Animorphs were here for like all of 2 days. How long were they keeping these guys around for like to learn their language?
As long as they needed them for. They've had several different people.
Whenever they find a new language, they probably keep the person around and like listen to them. I don't know. They probably captured like 20 people.
They captured whole crews, like whole ships of crews.
Yeah, they probably listened to them and
don't have
took
5
notes
people at
on.
once.
They probably had a note taker writing down like everything they said phonetically.
They're very like
had people studying the language because they're so secluded. They have nothing better to do.
They're very like keeping data, like tracking data oriented. Like that's like, the whole thing. That's why they have all these like just displays of people like stuck in time and stuff. I don't know. That seems like good world building to me.
I didn't really have any issue with them learning the languages.
It was cool. I like the Norchek. There was a whole thing about like them, because they want to go on Earth eventually, but now they're so mutated. Oh, the reason they're mutated is because I guess there's like glowing rocks that they use as artificial light, and that mutated them faster.
Yeah, the part where it talks about how big the seagull's eyes really like freaked me out.
Oh, there's like a seagull with like.
The Cinnamon Buns guy made a really cool drawing of the seagull.
Oh, great!
It was a GIF.
Oh, and then the whole reason that the fish people are like, oh, now we can go on Earth is because now they have the blade ship. Because all the human ships they've tried to use the surface. Just
Okay, that doesn't look that freaky, actually.
Everything's like just gotten destroyed since then. Also, they want to breed with humans so that they can like get more Earth features, so they can actually live on Earth because they're really like inbred and fishy right now.
I thought it was just because they were inbred and dying, not because they didn't want to be fishy. They literally said like. Yeah, we have trouble.
When you inbreed, you become fishy. Yeah.
No, they were saying that
we're
having trouble like getting people to be sufficiently like fishy while also not being inbred. Like when we take the DNA from people, they become less fishy, which is a problem.
Well, they need to be less fishy to live on Earth, though. I thought
they didn't. I don't know, man. This book didn't make.
And then the whole thing like, oh, Marco's finally going to get a girlfriend, but then it's like, oh, actually, the way we take DNA is we slice people open from like top of the skull to butt cheeks, and we take out all the insides and grind them up, and that's how we get the DNA.
That didn't really seem necessary. I don't really get why that.
Well, they were going to stuff them,
and then Marco was like, guys, there's an easier way to get DNA.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, Marco.
Your spit.
Marco wants them to milk him.
Don't say that.
Why?
Because they're kids.
Oh. No, that's just spit. It's just innocent spit.
Yeah, milk is spit. They want him to feed him milk. That's what milking is. Anyway, and then Marco was like, guys, it's an easy way to get DNA. Silly Marco saying the sex thing.
I didn't know. I didn't realize.
Okay, you just said I can't say that.
Be silly and say a sex thing.
I didn't realize it was a sex thing. Like I was just like, oh, you know, he's just saying it's easy.
Saying they want them to milk him is so specific. We can't say that.
What?
Why do you guys bring up milk? When is this ever?
I did not think DNA sample equals sperm, you guys.
Yeah, what? That's the whole implication of this whole thing.
No,
what are you talking about?
It's not.
Well, they did say like they may try to breed with us.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh, Mogo, you're finally going to breed with the fish." Mogo was horny for the fish people. He's like, "Oh, that's a nice body," and he's like, "What? I can't compliment a fish person?" And then they're like, "Oh, they want to breed with the humans because they're too inbred." And they're like, "Oh, Mogo, you're finally going to get a girlfriend now." And then they're like, oh no, the fish people might want, and they're like, oh, they're going to want to breed with us. And they're like, oh, we're going to cut you open to get the DNA. And then Mogo says, there's an easy way to get DNA. What am I supposed to take from that? Obviously it's a sex thing. It's a pattern. That's what the whole Mogo about the fish people is.
Really
nah, Mustard, you're crazy.
Think of that at all, honestly.
That is the very, very obvious.
One that
this is the clearest sex joke in the entire series.
One, Mustard.
This is very, very obvious to me. I don't know how you can interpret it any other way.
It's just saying, hey, maybe you don't have to cut open my insides for DNA.
Yeah, but it's the implication
Maybe-
after the previous thing.
There was no implication.
They're getting the DNA
Implication
to
is
use
talking
as
about survivor or
sperm.
something.
They're what? I assume they're going to use the DNA from the inside somehow to create children out of it. Are they like making artificial sperm out of like inside the people?
Yes.
They're, like that's how you get the easiest way is to get the sperm. So they just cut his testicles open instead. They don't get the whole body.
They're doing that too, don't worry.
Just cut his testicles open.
They're
There's
doing-
no other way to get sperm than that, though.
Jake does the cut your testicles open dance.
That's not the name of the title.
I like that better.
Do you, though? Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually.
That one is related to the book.
That's what. I cut your testicles open. That should be like capitalized, right?
What, you mean like in
Oh
all
my God.
caps?
It has to be in, like, quotation
No,
marks.
no. Jake does the and then in title case, cut your testicles open. End quote. Dance. Is the implication that like Jake is cutting Moko's testicles open? He's like, listen, guys, don't cut us open. I have a solution. He's a leader. He has to lead.
The Animorphs are like, we've been listening to you for so far, Jake. I guess we'll just go along.
Well, we went along with all the dumb things you said so far. So.
Did we already have an episode called like Moko's circumcision or something? I don't think we named it that. I think we just. I think in the description we had like, oh yeah, Moko's body regenerates or something because we talked about like when you morph, you gain your foreskin back. We had a whole conversation about that. It's always Marco.
Poor Marco, jeez.
I feel like Marco is least likely to be circumcised of the bunch.
Why do you say that?
He's not Jewish.
What?
Not
Jake
white.
is Jewish.
Jake's Jewish? Oh, I think it has been mentioned.
Remember, he's one of the good Jews.
That's not what it said in the book.
That is literally what it said.
When did it say that?
Wait, how does
Does
that
it actually say that? That was in the
Yes.
insane book where everyone was racist and
It
it was in a
says,
different universe and they killed
I had
Hitler.
long
Don't worry.
suspected that Cassie might have slightly radical tendencies. A lot of blacks did. Blacks and a lot of Jews, although not in my family. My dad is a certified patriot of empire.
Oh, that was in the crazy book.
We don't even talk about that book again.
Yeah, okay.
Megamorphs 3? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Every episode after Megamorphs 3 is about Megamorphs 3.
We do reference it a lot. And I'm like, no, we can't title every episode like a reference to 9/11 or the Holocaust.
Not every episode, you guys. Just 7 out of 10 of them, maybe.
Like, oh, guys, what if the Animorphs did 9/11? Like, I think we were going to name an episode that, but like, no, we can't do that. We can't name the episode The Animorphs Do 9/11.
Just you wait till the next book, okay? Then you'll have to name
Is that
it.
what?
You'll have to name the next book The Animorphs Do 9/11.
Just
You
name
have
this
no
one Jake
choice.
Does the
Is that true? Do you
9/11.
remember the next book?
Yeah, I feel like there's 2 books coming up, actually, that we'll have to name The
Oh.
Animorphs Do 9/11.
Oh my
There'll have to be a
gosh.
The Animorphs Do 9/11 2.
Would that be 9/12?
No. 9112.
9/11 Electric Boogaloo.
9/11 Revenge.
Oh no.
This time the towers hit the
Escape to
planes.
Africa.
I feel like there's more examples of this I'm not thinking of, but this book definitely seems like another example of like there's just so many Animorphs moments in this book. Like
It is an
Animorphs
book.
TF,
What?
TM,
Oh,
Animorphs TF.
TM
It's like every book, dude.
not the time. Like,
moments.
are you
where it's just like,
complaining?
this is the most messed up thing ever.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, this is so weird and messed
for one
up.
thing. The Animorphs get a random orca killed. It gets completely split in half by a Dracon beam.
There's just
So
a
that's
random
kinda
orca
horrifying.
that shows up.
And
Like-
tries to be part of their pod because they're like, woohoo, yay, we're friends.
Yeah. Yeah, and it gets completely split in half. And the Animorphs described it as like where there used to be 1 orca, there was 2 with their like chroma piece.
Right, like the way they describe stuff like that just gets under my skin.
What do you mean? Why?
I don't know.
Just like these
It's
two.
just
in what way? I mean, no, because it's freaky. Okay.
Yeah.
The what's it called? The orca was like split lengthwise, and then the 2
Right.
halves just like sink down into the ocean, and the whole freaking water turns red and bloody.
Right, like, all the water was opaque with blood and gore is one line that I highlighted, like, what a way to word that.
Yeah. So in chapter, like, in the middle of the book, like, they kind of just notice that Tobias is gone, and they're like...
What do you mean they notice he's gone? They knew he was gone.
I didn't really know.
I didn't. They
I
were
didn't
so
realize
I was just like,
he was
who's
gone.
this?
It very clearly said Tobias was not captured with us, and then Jake said, Tobias, go fly away without us, we'll be fine. or
I was
something.
like, who's this fish person rescuing them? And then it's Tobias. I'm like, what?
This was not a surprise. They knew Tobias was gone. I believe he
Wait.
brings up like, oh, I wish I knew what Tobias was right now.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, but it's like he just mysteriously disappeared.
No, he didn't mysteriously disappear. They got captured, and then he wasn't with them anymore.
Oh,
There was,
really?
there was, yes.
I don't remember that.
When they got the net on them, Tobias was flying around, so he did not get captured. So he didn't get captured with them, and then they split up. It was very clearly written. I don't know what you're confused by.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Victor's
Oh,
victim.
shoot, okay.
So all the Animorphs had to do to break
That's
into
my bad.
the cave was just to bump the door with their nose, and they just left them in. I mean, just let them in.
Yeah, because the cave was like wall, and then they.
You see, when you're in Orca, you just bump stuff
What
with
if,
your
what
nose.
if like something
get stuff done that you want to
someone was
happen.
just down there doing that?
Then they would capture them and ask them for information and stuff them and put them in the scooping room.
Oh, it literally is a scooping room, huh?
Yeah, why didn't they call it that?
Because it's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Because that's where the scooping happens.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it's literally the same thing.
The Animorphs have this, like, Nartec escort named, like, Kana or something, Naka, and, he kind of just stands there while they, like, openly plot, and doesn't really listen to them or stop them or anything.
Were they not like in thought speak or something?
No, they were just
they're
humans,
talking
like,
out loud,
talking
and
out
he can't
loud.
hear them for some
I
reason.
thought that was
pretty weird too.
In a big city where it's never mentioned that there are other people or noises around, like there's just these empty city, like just talking to each other, and
I
Naka's
didn't
just
assume the
kinda
city
standing off
was
to the
empty.
side.
You're just assuming it was empty.
I think the book should paint a picture for me of what the city looks like. I don't know anything about these people, so how am I supposed to picture?
By the way, the person's yard had blades of grass on it, and there were bugs crawling. If they did that, you'd say that it's like not contributed in the plot
That's
of
like
the
the
board.
Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band book.
What bugs are crawling on the grass is not very important compared to what the people in this freaking
I don't even know the
alien city are
population
doing.
density of an alien city.
Everyone out there should read the novel adaptation of the Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band movie. It is the most insanely written book I've ever read in my whole life. They'll spend like 5 pages describing like random people who are never mentioned.
Like
again.
someone, like
Just,
literally,
scenes set up.
like they literally go into like a backstory of just some guy who happens to be like in the distance.
It's like Scott
Like
was walking
eating
down
his
the street
lunch.
and he had his 3 kids named Marsha, Susan, and Sam. Sam's favorite sandwich was bologna sandwiches, but he had a pepperoni sandwich.
Just of a random background character,
And then,
and
like,
then go
continue
back
on
to the
the
plot.
What a great book. I want to read that again.
I want to read that period.
I had the sudden conviction that Naka, their escort, had done this before. Many times. I wonder how old he was. How could I tell with one of these creatures? Old enough to have been alive in World War II? Had he led the Japanese flyers in the same path? And I'm like, I don't know, who cares?
I care. I thought it was cool. I like that these guys are very knowledgeable. Like, I like...
Is this like, you just freaking like, is this like if I was like, hey Mustard, like, I made up this aliens, like, there's like an alien guy here, like, can you guess how old he is? Isn't it crazy? You don't know how old he is. I just made him up, dude. You don't know how old he is. Isn't that wild? You also don't know, like, what
That
his
would
insides look
intrigue
like.
me a little
That's freaking
bit.
crazy, man. Wow. Anyway, the book's over. Bye.
If you want a book about it, maybe.
I just wrote a book, and it's just like, I made up these aliens, but you don't know how old they are. Isn't that wild?
No, it's relevant because they seem very formal and knowledgeable. So, like, oh, they're maybe really old. That's crazy.
Okay, wow, that's crazy. The end.
Oh, and then I like how...
You're just saying stuff, man.
there's a plot point where
I
Jake's
don't
like...
know. I feel like saying that this is fine is just like not giving enough credit to books like 19, where like everything really does, and even 30, where everything really does just like tie towards like either telling us about the characters or telling us about like stuff that we should care about. You just care about it effortlessly with these books, and with this, I'm like, okay, why do I care about this? Am I supposed to care about this?
What is it?
this?
Why question...
19 was Karen.
Listen, I'm not
and Yeerk
questioning
and
if I should care
Afran.
about it. I just do care about it. I can't help that.
That's fine.
I
Good for you.
give 30 a meh.
30. Well, yeah, I know. And then
Book 30 again?
they lead Marco's mom off a cliff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like Visitor 3 like saves her
That wasn't in the book.
as like a tentacle monster.
That wasn't in the book. That was your video game you were playing while you were reading.
Right,
the
and
book.
then there's a detail that she like thinks acts as a pet, and then he's like, "I don't like that," and then like nothing comes of that.
I mean,
Why does that have to come from it? What do you just...
That's
Everything
I don't
anyone
know.
says has to start an argument or else the book sucks.
I don't know. That one was a little cute. That one told me about Queen Soko. Like that told me like, oh, she doesn't, she.
So did everything
She
she
recognizes
said.
humans as like the ultimate.
I don't think the
species.
Queen
That's what they
Soko
are.
scenes were necessarily like bad. It's just like I was talking about like, oh, how old is Naka? It's like, who cares?
I mean, it's not okay. You're acting as if there was a whole like, oh guys, we have to figure out how old Naka is, or we're gonna like that's not
There
relevant.
wasn't. That's the thing.
It was just a little line that Jake was curious about, and that's better than if they're like, guys, we have to figure out how old Naka is.
It's just
or the
not
end of the world.
cohesive. It's just there's nothing about this that like.
It's just
makes
a thought he had. What do you mean cohesive? Is every thought you have every day like, oh, this connects
No,
to
but
the
if
rest of
someone
my
wrote
day?
a book about like my life story, they shouldn't include every thought that went through my head because that would be boring and a slog.
It's the thought about an alien species that I've met before. It's just like stuff the reader might have not thought about on their own, and then it makes them think like, oh man, I guess maybe these
I think
guys
it's
are
better
really
with that
old.
stuff if you let the readers think about it on their own. Like,
Well, maybe some people don't.
I know. Obviously, you don't.
Yeah.
One thing I kind of wished with the
Thank you, Better, for moving us on.
Nartek is that like I kind of wish there was a bit more nuance as to like how good or evil they are,
Yeah.
or like at least like I wish the Animorphs would kind of like give them something, but they were just really like anti-Nartek, like the
Yeah,
entire
they're
time
just
they were around,
evil.
which made me less interested in the Narteks.
That's what they do with the Yeerks,
because they're like
too.
very one-dimensionally evil.
No, because
Wait, well, from the Animorphs point of view, I thought they were cool though. Like you're allowed to think these guys are cool, even if the Animorphs don't like them. That's like the whole thing with the Yeerks.
We can take these guys, he said. Maybe. I said, they've got it coming. Is that what's bothering you? If you're worried about hurting some, hey, these people are evil squared. They could go one-on-one with the Yeerks in the evil palooza. I'm
What?
like, well, they seem to mostly be motivated by, like, learning about other
I know.
people
It was so annoying.
The
'cause
Animorphs always do that, though.
they're supposed to be learning by this point. Like, by book 19, like, the other books where they're recapping the Yeerks will be like, we used to think the Yeerks were pure evil, but we realized that things are more complicated, you know. Like
Yeah,
that-
no. And they say, we realized that one Yeerk that I met wasn't evil. That's what they say.
But they're,
That's what
they're
they
saying
realize.
we shouldn't, think of all Yeerks
It's
under
not-
this, like, stereotype, you know?
Well, I remember
You know,
Cassie.
they're
A
not
few
to
times in the book,
essentialize.
Cassie was like, "Oh,
Right,
it's so
not to
sad that these people are
essentialize.
going to die." Like Cassie seemed upset about them like dying.
Yeah, okay, so the
Oh.
development of the Animorphs' feelings toward the Nartek in this book are Cassie is like, oh yeah, but I still don't want. She's like, oh, how awful! A whole culture might have died. But she just kind of says that just because like she's the one who's supposed to like care about people, and that's it. Like, there's not really any like motivation right there. And then by the end of the book, she shuts up about that, while the other Animorphs gleefully like plot genociding these guys.
Do you remember
and
what
the book
happened?
ends.
Do you remember like the last
the
like
Animorphs
paragraph of the
basically
book?
just
though?
decide to genocide these
They
guys.
literally
and then
say,
it
like,
ends.
once we win against the Yeerks, we're gonna genocide these guys. And then
That's
they go,
literally
haha,
what they
and then
decide
the book
at the
ends.
end.
Literally, like,
Well, no, there was a whole
why-
thing where Axe
what
was
a
like-
great book. What
Axe
a
was
great
like-
lesson.
Axe was like, guys, these guys aren't as evil as you think they are because everything they have is human technology. And all the ships that they have and the weapons
That
they
was
use is human
interesting.
weapons. And like all the wars that these people died in, and
I
the reason they
think
got
that's
captured
pretty
was because of
stupid
humans.
too, though, not gonna
Uh,
lie.
that
Oh,
was
that was cool.
It's the Iron Giant.
It's like the
They
whole
still
like,
have the choice to choose whether or not to be evil.
But
It's
I know-
not like they can be like, oh well, they only like the logic here is weird to me because
It's
yeah,
not
they
like
only
they
have
use-
the
okay,
technology. that
It's not like
humans
they
use during
literally used the
wars.
scooping machine to scoop them, okay? Like,
So
they did that on their own.
that means somehow that they're like destined to be evil or something. Like I don't get it. They could have just used our technology for good or something. Like,
I just like
I don't see how the humans are to blame for any of this
I
at
think
all.
Axe was making a point that, like,
Also,
you
they
know,
are
everyone is the
humans.
product. Everyone is a product of their environment, and like they needed these resources, and they had these weapons, so they would use the weapons to get these resources. And humans created the weapons, and humans used these. It's not just that humans created the weapons, but humans used these weapons for stuff just as bad as what the Nartek did on themselves. So yeah. But then at the Animorphs are like just kind of disregard that at the end. They're like, whatever, we want to kill them.
Because they're dumb. Animorphs are always dumb.
I kind of wish it wasn't Axe saying that because then like Axe is always viewed as like, oh, Axe disrespects humans. Well, like I think they are trying to like tie Axe's little speech at the end into like the whole like Cavalier has said like the whole like purpose of the Animal series as a whole is to be like an anti-war series basically, and I like that kind of tied into that theme.
So let's have these people who like worship war, and then they're so evil because their culture is about war, and let's just murder all of them. Then war will prove for once and for all that war is bad.
No, they're not just about learning.
Listen, you guys respect the Animorphs' opinions way too much. I don't even remember that they said the genocide thing, because I just like, oh, what Axe said was so insightful,
I think as the
Well, it's a
protagonist of the series,
it's a
the
good thing
opinions
the
of the
series-
we have heard
characters-
over and
are rather important to the themes of
We
the
have
story.
learned- we have learned over and over and over again.
Listen to calmly with no distracting noises or loud sounds.
We have been proven time and time again that the Animorphs' opinions of a certain alien race is not like the correct truth most of the time. We've learned
No,
that
but this
several
book
times.
doesn't challenge that.
This
It
book
doesn't because
challenge
it's
that
written by
anyway.
Jake, idiot.
Yeah, we've learned that even if a book isn't challenging an Animorphs idea in that book,
We gotta have a book 19
it
for
will have a
Nartex,
future
except they're
book,
boring,
yes.
so I don't want that.
I read these
Right.
books assuming in pretty much every book that the Animorphs are stupid about the opinions of the other aliens.
Yeah, because they are.
And we've been proven that time.
See, because I'm actually thinking
You know
with my
what?
head,
It's
and
not
that
very-
book doesn't have to tell me to think that.
Do I want
That's what you're
Do
talking
I
about.
want to
with
have
all
a
of them
story
before.
where it's just like aliens show up and they're like pretty much they're like kind of okay, they're like nuanced and mixed in terms of how evil they are, but the main characters are a bunch of like really dumb humans who are just like they're evil, and then like the entire movie is just the humans like shooting at the aliens and being like yeah they're evil, and then the movie ends and that's it. It's like, do I think that
Isn't
It
that
doesn't end. Axe has a little speech about it.
Isn't that like the plot of
then it
Watchmen?
ends.
And Watchmen is like the best book ever.
no, that's not the plot of Watchmen at all. What are you talking about?
Kinda.
There's no aliens in Watchmen.
Please explain the plot of Watchmen right
What does
now.
that have to do with anything?
Explain the plot of Watchmen right now.
Blue Man is like, hey, people, here's an alien. Then they shoot the alien and start a war.
Have you read Watchmen?
And then like 1 billion people die.
Have you read it?
You know she owns Watchmen, right?
Have you read this
So
book?
do we.
Have you
It's
read
actually
it?
on this
No.
show.
You're dodging the freaking question.
No, I'm just...
Well, then shut up!
2 people are talking to me at once.
Also, the Nartek are racist and have a classist system.
That's true. And the Cassie
And then
was like,
Cassie-
I really
like-
no, I want to read this quote because
Oh,
it's really
okay.
funny.
okay.
Nice to know discrimination is alive and well among the Nartek, Cassie mumbled. I feel so... at home.
Wee woke alert, woke alert. Oh, we got a badass. We got a freaking badass over here. We got a social commentary over here, everybody.
People are gonna think you're like anti.
Humans are
I'm the
always
woke.
the same, even if they're fish people who live underwater.
Yeah.
Man, that's so deep, the author said. Anyway,
Literally.
Jake, should we leave? No.
Imagine someone reading like someone's like. If this was someone's first book, they wouldn't know that Cassie's black.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
they
they would.
I guess they would just assume that she's poor based on the context, because it is
Yeah.
very. They do specify that it's classist, not
Yeah.
racist.
They don't
Right.
really have. I don't know if they really have enough. Well, I guess at any given population will have races, because if you have a supposedly one race culture, they'll just invent more races to discriminate against. So, oops.
Yeah, that's what this freaking Sneetches is about.
Everybody's blue. If they don't
Yeah,
hate
really.
your skin, they'll hate your size.
Did you guys watch that like Sneetches like cartoon?
There's a part where Jake says, "No, I've never seen that."
Please talk about the book.
They had a music in it.
No, not the Sneetches book. This book.
At one point, Jake says, "If only we had Tobias. I missed my eyes in the sky, my Air Force." And I'm like, "Oh, that's nice. I'm glad Jake's so concerned about his friend's well-being."
Yeah, really.
Like, Tobias has been missing for, like, way too long at this point. They're, like, concerned. They should be concerned about his well-being. But Jake is like, "Oh, man, my Air Force."
And then when they meet up, he's just like, "Oh, Tobias, it's so sad that you weren't captured with us and almost died. I missed you."
Everybody's did book Tobias. This author just didn't know how to write Tobias, I think. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's, nobody really knows how to feel
Rachel
about
says,
him.
I'm glad you're okay, Tobias. I hate it when you don't get taken prisoner with us.
That is kind of funny.
What a weird way to say that.
Yeah, okay, it was Rachel who said that, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel's the one who stuffs him in his pillowcase.
You know what makes the book feel really cool and, like, worthwhile? When the Animorphs could have left at any time, and then at one point they just kind of, like, get something happen to them that's pretty bad they knew was going to happen, so then they say, okay, then let's leave, and then they do. That's so great. That just makes the entire book feel like not a complete waste of time.
There was a whole, like... Jake is so wishy-washy in this book.
listen.
There was a whole thing where, they were like, oh, well, we can just let the Nortec take the blade ship, or the sea blade. It's a freaking blade ship, but it's the sea version, whatever. And it'll be fine, because the humans...
It's like blade ship, but for the water.
There's, like, way more humans than there are these guys. So
Why is
the
it
humans can
called
just
a
fight
sea
them.
blade?
Because it's a blade ship for the sea.
Is it actually for the sea?
Yes! Are you kidding me?
Well,
The whole thing is that Visibly wanted a ship that can go
thought it was
underwater.
literal
Listen, I
weapon,
didn't
okay?
even know it was a ship.
Anyway, but then they're like, oh,
Why
yeah,
isn't it
the-
called like the Sea Blade ship? The
And-
blade ship isn't just called the Blade or like the Sky Blade.
Skyblade would be a cool name for it.
No, it wouldn't.
And then,
Sounds like, yeah.
Wait, what are you just saying? Like, what's the last thing you said?
Me?
No, you.
About, like, how at some point in the book, they actually the Nartek try to stuff them, like they've been saying they would do to them the entire book, and then the Animorphs are like, okay, I guess
It's
we'll
so
just
weird
leave.
that Jake is like, oh yeah, guys, let's just keep looking around and see what happens in case like Visit 3 is here and we need to stop him.
Vision 3's
And then he's like, oh wait, the thing that I saw with my own eyes happens to everyone who comes down here is happening now? Oh no.
Okay, well, let's leave.
listen.
But also,
Either the book could have been like, you know, what happened is they almost flew too close to the sun and they flew back home. The alternative is they could have just like stayed home. They could have like flew into the sun and died. But then there wouldn't be Animorphs book if they did either of those. So they didn't.
Thank you.
I like when... Actually, do I like this? I don't even know. I'm just going to say it. They're like, oh yeah, the fish people, they're going to kill by humans because there's way more humans than fish people. But then they're like, these fish people might have like actual nukes. So actually we can't let them have the Sea Blade. Then they'll like nuke everyone on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Could they not do that with the other ships they have?
No, every ship they've had, they've sent out people and they never came back on the ships because the human ships aren't good enough, I guess.
But they have ships. What? They have, like, aircraft carriers.
They wanted the Sea Blade. It's better for leaving, I guess.
I guess.
I assume that the reason the ships is because the ships were like sunk. So
how did they get there in the first... Oh, I guess they can't go anymore? The Sea Blade is the only one that they could conceivably repair enough to take it back to the...
I don't get it.
Have they not gotten any submarines?
It's not really explained how...
Listen, submarines
nuclear
aren't that
submarines.
reliable. Didn't you learn anything from like a year ago?
A year ago.
No, if a submarine's good enough not to get sunk and taken by them.
Dude, guys, I know what actually happened to that
Is that
submarine. To the Titanic submersible.
No.
At one point, Marco was like, "Oh, guys, anyone think we're gonna find the Titanic down here?" That's just something Marco says.
And they don't.
What if this book was them finding the Titanic?
Dude,
Don't
Animorphs
do
would
that.
do that.
Yeah.
Animorphs accidentally... Is there a book where the Animorphs sink the Titanic in accident? That seems like something they would do. In like Megamorphs
They go
5.
back in Megamorphs 4.
They go. What if they go back in time to something about Thanksgiving? What? They go
What if they went back in time to the first Thanksgiving to
Get
take...
turkeys off the...
What?
Yeah, Beyonce, that movie.
The Animorphs go back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
That's right.
Which
The
is a
Animorphs
dance.
are going back in time to the first Thanksgiving to get turkeys off the menu.
I like when the Queen lady is like, "Hey guys, where's your ship? You have a ship. You didn't like freaking swim down here." And they're like, and she's like, "Okay, well, I guess you need some time to create a plausible lie or come to your senses. Whatever. I'll see you later. Bye. You can walk around if you want." I thought that was cool. She's like, she's done this like so many times with like countless crew members and stuff that she's just like, yeah, they're gonna lie to me if there's something they don't want us to know. They want to escape, but we can't have that. So I don't have fun.
I'm surprised they didn't try to interrogate the Animorphs before just scooping them.
They did. They learned everything they wanted from them.
Not like how they got down there. They don't care.
I guess not.
They cared more about.
I think once they tried, like they knew they were trying to escape. I think is what happened. Like, well, these people were trying to
I
escape.
thought they would like try like figure out that they are Animorphs and that would like motivate the plot in some way or something. I don't know.
I think the Animorphs would like not. I don't know. I think I have no more notes about this.
When
book.
they're running... So the only time the civilians show up, except for in the very first scene, is when they're, like, running towards the Sea Blade. And then it just says... Past staring Nartek citizens, mothers pulling their kids out of the way, vendors crying out as we pushed over carts and stand in our path. Okay, what are the vendors selling? I don't know. I can't picture this scene. Like, is it just like literally just like humans, fish people for no reason? Like, this is stupid. Like, I don't know. Like, this could be like some. It would have been nice if I got like a sense of what these people were like, or like what this city was actually like, outside of just what the buildings look
Well,
like.
I know it's like when I read a book and I have no imagination, so I can't imagine.
I guess,
what they're
yeah,
doing.
mustard simulator right here. Filthy creatures, Rachel spat. Someone needs to wipe them out. Thank you. What?
Yeah, wow.
What good writing? Like,
So what-
that's Animorphs. That's how the Animorphs are. Sure, why not?
That seems like fine with Rachel. I don't know.
It's just like weird. It's like I can understand her being like, oh, that sucked. Like, oh, we need to. I don't know about those guys, you guys, but it's like, oh, filthy creatures. Someone needs to wipe them out. Freaking like, I'm ready to be
Shadow the
Hitler
Hedgehog.
for Nartek. Why? This is stupid. This is how she was talking in Megamorphs 3. I'm sorry it keeps coming back to that.
Do you know the line from Shadow the Hedgehog?
Yeah. Anyway, next note.
I'm done. That's all
I
I
don't
got.
have any more notes.
Yeah, there's nothing to say.
Okay.
If
Book
you like sexy fish ladies, you'll like this book.
No, you won't. There's like one of them in the entire book, and everybody else is barely described at all.
I was like finishing this book like at the grocery
But yeah,
store.
Queen Soko is I could see that. I could see that being a coveted character.
So how do you imagine these characters looking? Because I just see like.
I honestly
doors.
picture them looking like the fish people, that fish guy from Star Wars, who.
They're just. It says they're just blue.
The guys
fish
from the
people who look
Phantom
like
Menace,
humans, but have
like-
gills and big eyes.
I just imagine them looking like the Zors from
No.
Ocarina of Time.
It specifies that their eyes are like orange sized, like the size of like an orange, and their eyelids are
Yeah,
like.
that's weird.
I like how they specified. Imagine you cut an orange into like 4 slices. The eyelids are each like one of those slices sized. And it's like, I guess we can assume that if you say that, I don't know, it was just silly to specify that. I don't know why I gave this book a thumbs up, but I gave it a meh face, and then I was like, I can't do that. I enjoyed this book too much. Which is, I have nothing but complaints for it pretty much, except the cool like fish people door, but I don't know, I enjoyed it. Oh, I gotta go with the joke book, I suppose. Oh wait, we gotta sign off first. Any final thoughts about this book?
Any last thoughts of this book? Dumb and bad.
Thumbs up.
Oh wait, I did want to read the blurb for the next book. An incredible discovery has been made. The place where Visit 3 feeds has been located. The Animorphs agree that the time to
Isn't that
confront...
just the Kandrona place where everybody else feeds?
Oh, he feeds like his grass or whatever.
The Animorphs agree that
Oh, yeah.
the time to confront their greatest enemy is now. The mission calls for top speed and agility. After acquiring Cheetahmorphs, the team is ready for the chase.
Great.
Why don't they just...
Oh my gosh, yes, cheetahs like hunt in a pack and then take them down.
There's
like
a
a freaking
problem,
gazelle.
though. While Jake's away, there is no one assigned to lead the Animorphs. Which Animorph will rise to the challenge? And will the new leader be able to take on the unexpected dangers that arise?
So why is Jake gone?
I don't know.
Who's the narrator of this book? It's probably gonna be that one.
Rachel?
Why is it forcing me to... Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I wonder which
Rachel
one.
and Marco are probably gonna fight.
Okay, sign off. I'm
That's
much
like the
good.
best one so
But
far.
Fix Chris
natural.
first.
Better.
What, I'm first?
I want to go backwards, but no one else agrees.
Yeah, because we have an order.
Yeah, and the order's backwards when you're signing off. It's
Since
like,
when?
It's like a nice like sandwich.
That's
It's
never-
symmetry. Yeah.
Since
Yeah, that
when?
would be nice, but we've never done
When have you
that.
ever mentioned
I've been
that?
trying to do it. I tried to do it for like 4 episodes, and you guys always say no.
Just
And now you're saying it's
haven't
nice?
Well, I don't care, whatever.
I don't think it's nice.
Okay.
Our opinions on this will change every single episode.
Yeah.
Next time, Batter will love it. Batter will be advocating for this, and you'll be like, no!
I'm
That might be
mustard.
true, actually.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Atlas.
Atlas.
Alice, you mean that guy from like the Greek myth who holds up the world? on his
At
shoulders?
least we didn't
At least we
die
didn't
reading
have
this
the
book.
friggin-
I guess I'll let that guy in. He probably needs a break.
It's not at least. It's at last. Is how it's.
At last, we're done with this dumb book.
That's close enough. It's the last class is over. 'cause
Oh my God, it's always
freaking
school.
worked.
I forgot.
Is there one more joke in here? This last joke sucks. Oh my goodness.
Wait, we're almost on the last joke?
Yeah.
Then what will we do?
I don't know.
Oh, we can't read any more Animorphs
Yeah,
after
in
that.
the podcast.
That's the last book of the series.
I just opened up my spreadsheet and read Jake does the Cut Your Testicles Open dance again.
One of them's gonna have to be called Jake Does 9/11. Dance.
No, it doesn't.
And then for dance in parentheses. It's a dance.
Just Jake, just the Animorphs do the 9/11.
We literally discussed a previous episode being called The Animorphs Do 9/11. I think we talked about that. I think was that the last
Of course
episode?
we did.
That was every episode, I think.